Have you ever felt like everyone depends on you, but no one checks on you? Have you ever felt like you're caring so much for everyone else that you've forgotten what it feels like to be cared for yourself? If so, this conversation is for you. Welcome back to this channel. I'm Clarissa Law, a trauma informed counselor and confidence coach. And here we talk about healing, rediscovering who you are beneath survival, and breaking generational patterns. Today, I want to talk to you about the hidden cost of being the strong one. How do we become the strong one? You ask, how did I become this strong person? Well, most women don't wake up one day and decide they're going to be the strong one, they're going to tackle everything. It usually happens because life requires it. Things just happen in your life that you became the strong one. Maybe you grew up too fast. Maybe you became responsible for things that weren't even your responsibility. Maybe people depended on you because you were mature, capable, and dependable. That's my story. I wasn't the oldest child, but I was mature, I was dependable. So I was the one that had a key, and I was the one that had to look out for my other siblings, even my older brother. And so that's how I became the strong one. I was cooking meals, I was making sure everybody was in the house, things like that. Over time, being strong becomes part of your identity. It became part of my identity. People praised you for it. Oh, you're so strong. Oh, you got this. You don't ever seem like anything is bothering you. But what people don't often see is what created that strength in the first place. Yeah. So, question, when did you first learn that being strong was necessary? I'll let you think about that. So, I want to talk about when strength becomes armor. The problem isn't strength. Strength is not even the enemy. The problem is when strength becomes the only version of you that feels safe. You don't feel safe unless you are in control. You are presenting yourself as strong and you don't want to be vulnerable. I can definitely relate to that. I can remember being a single parent and struggling in some things, but you wouldn't know it by looking at me. I can remember telling my story of being homeless with a car and a job and really struggling in some things, but you would never know it. I wouldn't present that way because I'm the strong one and I'm not supposed to look like I'm struggling. Many women, especially African American women, we become so accustomed to carrying everything ourselves that we don't even ask for help. Like I said, that was me. I didn't ask for help. To this day, it's very difficult for me to ask for help. I have learned to ask for help because I realized that asking for help does not make me weak. They when we are accustomed to carrying everything and being the strong one, we stop sharing how we're feeling. Can anybody relate to that? We convince ourselves that needing support is weakness. I can definitely relate to that. I've already come into my adulthood with some challenges, so being a teen mother, so to ask for help is like people are going to frown at me. They're going to look at me and be like, that's what you get, or throw it in my face. That's really my biggest one, is like people will do stuff and then they'll throw it in your face and things like that. So that's been my experience. Instead of asking for help, we tend to become the helper. Why? Because somewhere along the line, we felt like that's what we should do. We talked about it in a previous video where we talk about becoming a people pleaser. We want to make sure everyone else is okay. We want to be the helper. We want to solve the problem. We want to be the fixer. We become the person that everyone calls for help because we're the strong ones, right? But who checks on the strong one? Because underneath all of that, we are exhausted. Those of you who identify as the strong one, you can relate, right? We're exhausted. We're exhausted with carrying it all. We're exhausted with worrying about people's problems, and they're not even worrying about their problems, right? When I went through my process of healing and overcome a lot of things and setting boundaries and saying no to things, I had a saying that I no longer care about people who don't care that I care about them, right? Because as the strong one, as the fixer, as the one that looks like they always have it together, everybody's wanting you to fix things and you're going home and you're worried about it, and they're not even worried. They're not thinking about this stuff because they gave it to the fixer. And I know Clarissa's going to come through with a solution. But I had to make up my mind, and I had to really realize that it became an expectation that Clarissa is going to fix it. Can I does that relate? Does that resonate with anyone? People just give you their problems and they go to sleep. They give you their problems and they go make more. How do we help them to learn to solve their own problems the way that the strong one has learned to solve their own problems, right? So I definitely had that experience. So when we talk about the hidden cost of being the strong one, there is a cost to carrying everything alone. Sometimes the cost is emotional exhaustion. Yeah. Sometimes it's loneliness. And we're lonely because we're lonely in our exhaustion because we can't tell anybody that we're feeling weak, we're feeling vulnerable. We got to keep that to ourselves because we got to let everybody think we're the strong one. Sometimes it's resentment. I know I felt resentment. I don't like that, this person can ask for help, or this person don't even care that I'm over here figuring out their problem for them. Yeah, we can become resentful, right? Another way is people will appreciate, we will feel unseen. When we are carrying everything and we act like everything is fine, we feel unseen. We feel like nobody's paying attention to us and what we really need them to see and what's under the surface because, again, we're walking around like the strong one. Oh, I got this. I got this. I don't need anybody. People will appreciate what you do for them, but they won't always recognize what it costs you, right? Have you been that person where you show up for everyone, but you don't even consider what you're missing for yourself? You overbook yourself, you overextend yourself. And what does it cost you physically, mentally, emotionally? We feel unappreciated. Again, we feel unseen. We feel like, oh, I've taken away from myself in this way. And it could be financial. I know that was it for me. I would be so willing to help and not think about, well, darn, you just gave that person X amount of dollars and you needed that for what you needed to do. So it definitely cost you something. And you can sit and think about this and wonder, what areas of your life has it cost you? Has it cost you time with your children? It cost you time where you're not doing your job effectively? If you really sit and think about it, being the strong one has cost you something. And after a while, you start to wonder, you start to think, who cares about me? Who checks on me? Who sees what I'm carrying? Not the people around us, because we're to express those feelings, we consider that as weak. And so who does care? Who is paying attention? And so that's why we have to care for ourselves. That's important so we don't forget about ourselves, right? We can become so focused on caring for everyone else, we really do forget about ourselves. That is the unfortunate mantra for women. Oh, I'll take care of me later. I'll do that later. I can't go do that now because I need to do this for somebody else. I can miss that doctor's appointment. I can not go to sleep. I can stay up. I can do these things because I have to do this for somebody else. They're depending on me. They're depending on you. You have to look inward and decide, what am I losing? Identify, what am I losing? What is it costing me to be everything to everyone else and nothing to myself? So, what does healing look like? If we want to heal from being the strong one, being in survival all the time, what does that look like? It doesn't look like you're being weak. It doesn't look like you're abandoning your strength. Healing doesn't mean expanding your definition of strength. Strength can look like asking for help. I had to learn that. When I was in a really bad car accident, I am here suffering. No food, I can't get up, I can't move, and I had to accept help. And I've had to learn just really who to ask for help from, because for real, everyone is not for you, right? But I've learned to be okay with not just asking for help, but accepting help from people who I know genuinely care about me. Strength can also look like resting. There was a time that if a Saturday morning came and I decided to stay in the bed all day, watching Law and Order SVU. You know, once you watch one episode, you got to keep watching it, right? And the whole day would go by. And at the end of the day, I didn't think about this all day, but the whole day would go by. And at the end of the day, I would say, man, Clarissa, you just wasted a whole day. Shame on you. What could you have done with this day? That's when I was in survival mode. That's when I was trying to be the strong one because I'm supposed to be busy all the time. You're supposed to be doing something because you're the strong one, right? Well, guess what? I've changed that and I've realized and acknowledged and accepted that if today is a day that I stay in the bed a little longer, then my body needed that rest. And so I no longer feel guilty. I don't do it all the time, but when that opportunity comes and I just say, I'm just going to rest today, the guilt is no longer there. Strength also looks like setting boundaries. When we set boundaries, we let people know this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm not going to do. And that's when you start, once you have identified the cost of what it is, being the strong person, being the solution, being the fixer, the people pleaser for everyone. Once you set those boundaries, one, you are keeping yourself healed and whole. And two, you give others the opportunity to figure things out. And when it comes to children, if you have adult children, you know. And what you have to realize is they're either going to, how does saying go? They're either going to fall or they're going to learn how to fly. And my experience has been they learn how to fly. Whether it's my children or it's other people, is that they learn how to fly. Or they just simply just you find out who people really are, right? Like now that you're no longer helping them, you no longer serve them. And so we have to be okay with that. We have to be okay with, I would rather have my peace and the reality that you really didn't care about me unless I was doing something for you, than to constantly be running, doing all of these things, trying to fix other people's problems. So it's okay to set boundaries. It's okay to say no. No is a complete sentence. Once I figure that out, well, let's talk about that process, setting those boundaries, saying no. I was the yes to everybody. I said yes to everything. I didn't look at a calendar. I didn't look at a schedule. I just said yes to everybody. Then as I began to do the work to heal myself, to understand that I can say no, I would say no, and then I changed my mind. No, I can't do that. And then I change my, oh, I feel bad. I want them to be happy. I want them to have what they need. So I'll change my mind and I say yes. Then I would say no, and I would explain why I had to say no. Now I go to my calendar. I don't do anything without looking at my calendar. And if I can't do it, I will say, unfortunately, I'm unable to do that. That's it. No explanation, no changing my mind. And it's okay. If you start setting your boundaries and being consistent, people will start respecting your boundaries because they see you being consistent. You can't say yes today. You can't say no today for something and then go a week later and then change your mind, or you're trying to set this boundary with a certain person and then you find yourself compromising on that boundary. You have to set that boundary and you have to stick to those boundaries. And that is strength. That is strength. Understand that setting boundaries is strength. You don't have to fix everything. Strength can look like allowing yourself to be supported. That is a hard one for me because, again, I am the person that's like, I got it. I got it. I don't need any help. But it's okay to be supported. It's okay to get help. And I'm not saying I know everything, but I'm a person, I'll try to figure it out for the sake of not asking people for help. But I'm overcoming that because it's okay to be supported. Strength is being supported. Strength can also be just being honest about what you're carrying. This is too much. This is just too much. I'm doing too much. And learning how to take things off of your plate, which goes back to that resting and that setting boundaries and that asking for help. We can look busy all day, but are we getting anything accomplished, right? Because the strong one says, I need to look like I'm doing something. I need to look like I'm accomplishing something. I don't want to look lazy. I don't want to look like I'm slacking to anyone. So it's okay to be honest about what you're carrying. Right now I can do this. Right now I can't do this. And just be honest about that, right? The goal isn't to stop being strong. The goal is to become whole. And so today I sit with boundaries. I'm stronger because I set boundaries. Today I'm stronger because I can ask for help. Today I am stronger because I get my rest. I listen to my body and I get that rest. And today I'm able to acknowledge that's too much for me right now. Let's kind of pivot and let's take some of those things away that are not absolutely necessary. And so I am becoming whole in my life. And my goal and my hope is to help you to become whole in your life. So if you spent years being the strong one, I want you to know this. You were never meant to carry everything alone. Don't wait years to figure this out. If you were a younger person, let me tell you today, you were never meant to carry everything alone. You deserve support too. Let me say that again. You deserve support too. Who told you you had to do it all? Who told you that you can do it by yourself? You deserve support too. And you deserve rest too. You deserve to rest. You deserve to be replenished. You deserve to take time for you. Let me say something else. I go to the gym. My job is problem solving. And I go to the gym. When I go to the gym, that is my time for myself where I'm not solving anybody's problems. Everything that I'm doing in the gym is for me. I'm not solving a problem. I'm not fixing anything. I'm not navigating anything. So I encourage you to find that thing, right? That thing that you can do for yourself. That thing that will replenish you to make you feel like you are cared for, even if it's you caring for you. And again, when you start setting those boundaries, you will start attracting people that will respect the boundaries and start treating you accordingly. And the parts of yourself that may have been buried beneath responsibility and survival are still there. I just want to leave that with you. The parts of you that may have been buried under responsibility, no matter how you came to be that responsible person and learning to survive, those parts of you who you were before that, they're still there. That person is still there. So if this message resonated with you at all, I created a free guide called You Were Always Her. 5 truths life buried, but God never took away. Understand that God created us perfect. He created us perfect with everything that we have in us. We have just lost it. And so we need to rediscover who we have always been. Because you're in there. She's in there. I'm in there. So you can find the link to that free download in the description in this video. And if you're ready for more conversations about healing, rediscovery, attachment patterns, and breaking generational patterns, I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel. So until next time, remember, you are not broken. You adapted. And the woman you were before survival is still there. Take care.